Um, good, good. Single and continuous. Yes, very good. So low answers are correct. The first one, the activities look to be um, continuous, but the costing system, we we are not really like continuous production takes, because whenever there is a need for clients, you go and do the audit. It is not that you start doing auditing. So therefore, providing audit services or assurance services is a specific order. Manufacturing of bottled drinking yogurts. Now you understood. Very good. Then continuous. Tile manufacturing involves this continuous process. It does not mean that we are manufacturing all the time, around the clock, 365 days. No. So continuously you do it, then sell it, something like. So you are not, unless you have a specific order, you do it and sell it. That's it. It does not mean that manufacturing, tile manufacturing, will not have job costing. There will be sometimes some of maybe a king or minister. In Sri Lanka, also ministers also look like kings, right? They want to build a palace. So a special type of tiles and all these things are ordered from you. So I want these are the specification. Manufacture them for me, and so even that process would be continuous. It takes lots of time, maybe months, but that is a particular job or separate job. Therefore, that tile manufacturing company has to do a job costing for that. Then building houses according to customer specification, very clear. It is a job like specific order. Legal services also, you go to meet lawyers, you based on your needs. That is specific. My need is different from your need. Manufacturing of rice, it's up to the organization. Therefore, it's continuous. Very good. So that is why already defined, just glance through the formally in textbooks, job costing is defined. Job costing involves series of activities that accumulate the cost of material, labor, and overhead to a specific job. This is how it has been written in textbook, but you can say it in any way. Job costing is, as I just told you in a simple way, cost ascertainment of a specific job. It could be a product or service, single product or bundle or anything, as long as the job can be identified as a separate cost of job. That's it. You can have fantastic or very creative definitions. It could be a product, project, sales, order, contracts, anything, anything. Finally, it is anything, but with subject to specific characteristics that is clearly distinguishable and unique. So therefore, job costing is a particular method of ascertaining the cost. If you want to give a smart or the cunning answer, what is job costing? Yeah, that's a particular method of ascertaining cost. So no one can say that that answer is wrong. You got it? So job costing is a particular method of ascertaining the cost. If you are not asked to explain the cost, job costing, if the question what is job costing, you say yes, particular method of ascertaining cost. Then you can challenge your answer. If someone says no, that's wrong. No, it's correct. Ascertaining cost of a specified job or the cost object. Explain job costing, then you have to simply you have to explain what is the a particular method. You need to explain that particular method where different types of cost involved, direct, indirect, or labor, material, and overhead, something like deals with finally measurable direct and indirect costs. So this point is very important. Remember the direct, indirect, but financially measurable. This is important, this term. Because in some production processes, there would be so many costs, huge costs, especially in terms of social costs in terms of environmental damages. Those are the major things. Environmental pollution, social issues, cost cannot be ascertained. But when you produce some goods, social issues are there. It really creates lots of tension among different social groups. It would help to discriminate people. So that could be one of the reasons why uh, people become materialistic. Why? General public um, have different understanding based on the things, the material things that you have. If you go buy a very luxury, expensive car, or go buy a Maruti car, right? Same person goes by two different vehicles to a village, or no need to be, just travel around like this. So your perception to two people would be totally different. Ah, this it's like dominant, more recognition comes along with more material. That could be one of the reasons why people become so much greedy of accumulating wealth. To accumulate wealth, you need power. Then you accumulate power first, then accumulate wealth. So there is no end. Social issues with the things that you have. But how are we going to measure these costs when you produce or when you do something? So if you do not take action, that cost is really borne by the society in many ways. Then cost elements comprise, already discussed this one. Then I can skip different steps involved in job costing. You need to identify the job. You need to trace the direct cost to the job first. Direct cost, need not to worry. This is tracing. You learn this thing under the cost ascertainment. You trace it directly, put that into that particular job. Easy. Then allocation of indirect cost when there are different number of jobs, but not unique. Different jobs are there. Um, say, how to say, um, even with the same product, construction of houses, different types. So maybe 2 bedroom, single bedroom, 3 bedrooms. Then all the materials for houses, 1 bedroom, single, two, three, can be ascertained. That is the direct cost. But how about the management fees, other costs, and all those things? Then that is the allocation part. It can be done under traditional or activity-based costing that we learn in your cost ascertainment. Then finally calculate the total cost. That's it. So these are the 4 steps. This figure is a simple illustration of how costs are divided. I think it is straightforward and already explained you. Mainly cost elements can be in 3 forms: material cost, labor cost, other expenses, and overheads. Then the material would also be direct, indirect, direct, indirect, direct, indirect. So whatever it is named as indirect becomes overheads. I explain you the meaning of overheads, why it is called as overheads. Now, look at this example. Job order costing and overview. All those 3 elements: material, labor, manufacturing overheads. Both direct material, direct labor, have been identified to all these 3 jobs directly. Need not to wait. Once it is incurred, once resources are sacrificed, ascertain the financial value of them, and add it there, put into that particular basket. Job number 1, 2, 3, finish. Then the overheads. Overheads have to be allocated. Now we will move on to activity number 4 too. I'll give a little time, maybe 5 minutes, to have a factory accepted an order to produce a bed. Very simple question, right? information relevant to this particular job is cost of wood 15,000. Even mentally you can do the calculation, but some modification are there. Customers are charged with 25% margin on wood, but you know the cost as well. Cost of other indirect material 2,000, but customers are charged additional 10% margin. 3 labor hours required at 1,500 per hour. 1.5 machine hours required at 6,000 per hour. So even in 1 minute or mentally, you can calculate the cost, calculate the total cost of the bed and the price to be charged to customers. So later we will go for the price. First, determine the cost. How much is it? You can mentally calculate quickly. Yes. Yeah, it looks to be some calculation is there. Very good. 35,000. Well, so one has just given 35,700. Is that the cost or the price to be charged? Any other answers? Yes. Okay. Cost is 30,500. Price to be charged. Okay. 35,700 is price to be charged. Yeah? Could be correct. I can't remember. Working is there. No worries. So any other calculation? Yes. I hope that it is straightforward. Mentally, how do you do the mental calculation? Take 15,000 at 2017, then multiply this 1,500 into 3, 4,500, then how much? 21,500, 1.5 machine hours required at this rate, 6,000, 9,000. So summation. It looks like summation is 30,000 something. Yeah, summation is 30,500, right? Then you have to add a margin. Margin, I think the one who just gave the calculation 35,700, we better recheck. Do not know whether my calculation may be wrong. I don't know. But how did I do based on the information? Customers are charged with a 25% margin on wood. Wood cost is 15,000. 25% of wood, 3,750, then add it. So this is how the selling price is going to be formed. Selling price is determined in that way. Other materials, 10% to 2,000, 10% of this 2,200. With respect to labor, you are not adding because you are paying for labor. We incur some overhead costs for machine. So labor is simply hired. If you are trying to charge more on labor, that means you are trying to exploit labor, right? It's unethical. But this is what happens. You are right. This is what happens in real life. Huh? Labor is exploited in some or other ways. Then last point, overheads. You calculate in such a manner your rate has been decided by keeping a margin as well. So that's a practical situation. Right? Again, you need not to add any margin. So you are going to sell it at 34,500. But for your cost calculation purposes, internal decision making purposes, you use only 30,500 and not 34,000 to sell customer. So if you know both, Again, you can bargain in between. If you want to have any discounts or any offers, you can decide all those things within this particular margin of 4,450. And that can be expressed as a margin, percentage of margin. This difference, sorry, actually margin is 3,950 divided by the total price. Your margin is 11%. Activity 3. Quickly we will do it. um, I hope that if you have access to LMS, so better download the presentation file from LMS. That file does not have answers. Without answers, the activity is there. But I will read it out for your benefits. Summary, summary of estimated overheads in a construction company, building construction company. Overheads in rupees thousands. Machine depreciation, maintenance, general administration, field visit expenses, and annual employee cost that is also fixed. Estimated direct labor hours is 120,000. 120,000. This company expects to win three bids. Three bid. That means you are going to quote your price for a tender for the construction of construction in the year 2021. Estimated direct labor hours to be used in bid 1, bid 2, bid 3. There are three bids, three different construction. Are this much? Cost has been given. Past experience also shows you that direct construction cost, direct cost, is roughly about 350 of the overheads. So this information has been given in a reverse format. Normally, you are given the direct cost and you will have to assign indirect costs allocated in a way. This question tells you actually beauty of accounting or dealing with information is that you must be able to logically think, logically interpret, do the calculation forward and backward, argue. So that is this piece of information helps you to do that. How? It tells you that based on your past experience, if you incur indirect cost of something 100 rupees, your direct cost is 350. Therefore, your total cost would be 450. That's the mean. A simple calculation, nothing much. Next point, company adds. So in this situation, company does not add profit margins to each and every item. Instead, they directly add 20% profit margin to the total cost. And it charges additional contingency. So this is a norm or kind of practice in the building construction industry. Even though you bid for a construction, when you construct that particular building, cost may vary. Most probably cost may go up. So therefore, there is a chance, opportunity for the contractor or the bidder to include some additional charges for contingencies. So this person is going to include 10% as contingency charges. That is how bid price is set. You are required to estimate the overhead absorption rate, estimate the overheads to be applied for each bid, that is bid 1, 2, 3. Estimate the total cost of each bid, total cost, not the any other thing, total cost, not the bid price, total cost of each bid. expected bid price to be used for tendering process. That is something else. Expected bid price. Then expected profit from bid 2 if ABC Limited will have to incur an actual contingency cost of this much. 11,937,500. Discuss the suitability of having a common or operating overhead absorption rate used above by highlighting the issue or issues, if any. Take few minutes and first do the calculation on overhead absorption rate. Estimate the overhead absorption rate for the company. one rate by taking into account all these things. Overheads are there and expected labor hours are also there. Do the first task of estimating the overhead absorption rate.